Hello everybody, today we are going to be solving linear systems again, but this time we're going to be solving by substitution. Now what substitution means is that you take something and replace it with the other thing. So this one says solve for x. 2x plus y equals 5 when y equals negative 9. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this negative 9 and we're going to place it into our y. So when we replace this y with negative 9, we get 2x plus negative 9 equals 5. So now we are solving for x. We need to get x by itself. So we have a minus 9 here. So what we're going to do is add 9 to get rid of it. And if we add 9 over here, we get 14. And 2x is what's left. So we have 2x equals 14. So then we divide by 2 to get x by itself. And we get x equals 7. So when y equals negative 9, x equals 7. Over here, it says solve for y. 2x plus 3y equals 14 when x equals y plus 4. So this one is a little bit different. Instead of just one number putting in for x, we're putting y plus 4 in for x. So that comes over to here. So we get 2 times y plus 4 plus 3y equals 14. So we have to get y by itself. So the first thing we need to do then is make our box to get rid of our parentheses. On the outside we have 2 and y plus 4. 2 times y is 2y. 2 times 4 is 8. Plus 3y equals 14. So then our equation comes out to be 2y plus 8 plus 3y equals 14. Now, we have two y's on one side. That means we have to combine them. So 2y plus 3y, well, that gives us 5y plus 8 equals 14. Now we're still trying to get y by itself, so we need to subtract 8 and subtract 8. What we get then is 5y equals 6. Last thing, divide by 5 and divide by 5. Y equals 6/5. So what we are doing is just replacing something into our equations. So let's try some more. Here it says solve the linear system by substitution. Well, we have 4x minus 2y equals 14 and x equals 10 minus 6y. Well, we already know we have an x by itself, so we know that x equals 10 minus 6y. So the 10 minus the 6y, we are going to replace with x. So then our problem comes out to be 4 hold on 1 second, we get 4 times 10 minus 6y minus 2y equals 14. So now we need to draw our box to get rid of our parentheses. So we have 4 out here, 10 minus 6y on top. 4 times 10 is 40. 4 times negative 6y, well, that's negative 24y. So we have 40 minus 24y minus 2y equals 14. Now we have to combine our like terms, so negative 24y minus 2y, and that gives us negative 26y we still have our 40, so bring that down, equals 14. So we're trying to get y by itself, so we need to subtract our positive 40 from both sides. So those cancel out. We get negative 26y equals 14 minus 40. Well, that is negative 26. So negative 26 divided by negative 26 y equals 2 negatives make a positive 1. So now we know that our y equals 1. But that's not the end of our problem. Whenever we have a linear system, our solution is always going to be given by a coordinate xy. So we already found that our y equals 1. So now we need to find our x. So we have a blank there, and we have a 1. So what we're going to do then is we're still trying to find our x. This problem right here says we have x equals 10 minus 6y. But we don't know what x is, but now we do know what y is. So we are going to replace that 1 with, we're going to sub that 1 in for our y. So we have x equals 10 minus 6 times 1. Because now our y is 1, so we replace y with 1. So we get 6 times 1, well that's 6. So 10 minus 6, well 10 minus 6 is 4. So x equals 4. So our solution then is 4, 1. For all of these problems, we need to find a y, and then we need to find our x by putting in our what we found for the y into the problem to find our x. Our next one says solve the linear system by substitution. Okay, so we are going to be finding a solution in xy form. So we need an x and we need a y. We have y equals 3x plus 2 and x plus 2y equals 11. Well, look, we already have a y here. So we don't know what y is, but we know that y equals 3x plus 2. So what we're going to do is take this 3x plus 2 and replace it with our y. So our problem then is going to look like x plus 2 times 3x plus 2 equals 11. So we have to get rid of these parentheses, so we're going to draw a box. We get 2. 2 times 3x, that's 6x. 2 times 2, that's 4. So we have x plus 6x plus 4 equals 11. Now, if we have an x by itself, we know that there is a 1 in front of that x. So now we have 1x plus 6x plus 4 equals 11. So we're going to combine our like terms. So 1x plus 6x, well, that gives us 7x plus 4 equals 11. So now to solve for x, we're going to subtract 4. So those cancel out. We get 7x equals 7. To get x by itself, divide. And we get x equals 7 divided by 7, which is 1. So we know now that our x is 1. So up here in our solution, we can put 1 in for x, but we still don't know our y. So what we need to do is take this 1 that we found for x and plug it into our equation. Now it doesn't matter which equation we use, but this one's the easiest because we already know that it's equal to y. So we can have y equals 3 times 1 plus 2. 3 times 1, that's 3, plus 2. 3 plus 2, that's 5. And y equals 5. So we know our y is then 5. Our solution is 1, 5. Last problem, it says, which ordered pair is the solution of the system of linear equations whose graph is shown? Well, what we need to do, this is what we did yesterday. We need to look for the point where these two cross. Well, it crosses right here. Now if we look, our axes are going up by 2. So we're looking in for x and y. X always comes first, so we're going on our x-axis 2, 4. We know our x is 4. And we don't even need to really look for our y because E is the only one with a 4 for the x, which means that our y is going to be 5. If we wanted to check that, we could go 2, 4, and it's right in the middle of 4 and 6, which is 5. So that is solving linear systems by substitution. Next time we are going to continue on substitution, but for now this is just a little taste of what is going to be coming later.